Hello and welcome everyone to this presentation. I really hope you're all enjoying Executive Planning Day today. I know for me, this has been a good chance for some of us to share our ideas and collaborate with each other about some future decision making for the company. My name is Will and I will be your speaker for this presentation. I'm so glad you all could make it and I hope you enjoy the presentation. Our first topic will be on the macroeconomy and understanding the business cycle. When we're looking at the macroeconomy and the business cycle, there are three key indicators: GDP, inflation, and unemployment. Gross domestic product, or GDP, is described as the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a specific period and is the sum of output from all economic activity by a country. GDP is typically used to measure living standards and economic growth within a country, as well as determining whether an economy is experiencing recession or expansion. Inflation is described as the growth in the overall level of prices in an economy. Along with normal inflation, this can also be in the form of hyperinflation, which is an extremely high rate of inflation, or deflation, which occurs when overall prices fall. Unemployment refers to the inability of people within the economy to obtain gainful work and is often used to measure the health of an economy. All of these macroeconomic indicators can be used to judge whereabouts in the business cycle the economy may be. When we look at the graph, for example, if GDP is high and both inflation and unemployment is low, the economy may be experiencing a peak. If GDP was to decrease, inflation to increase, unemployment to increase, or a combination of these, the economy may be experiencing contraction within the business cycle. If these were all to improve again towards a peak, the economy would experience an expansion within the business cycle. Understanding these indicators and their relationship with the business cycle can help the business decide on what actions to take, such as investing more during an expansion or implementing cost-saving measures during a contraction. Our second topic is on tariffs and trade wars. Tariffs are defined as taxes levied on imported goods and services and can be either as a percentage of the value of the good, per unit, or a mix of both. With the possible introduction of tariffs by President Trump on Australian exports, this will affect the aggregate demand and aggregate supply of both Australia and the US. Some implications of these tariffs and the possible escalating trade tensions means that it will be harder and less profitable to export goods and services to the US. This will mean that businesses will sell less goods as a whole unless they position themselves to work out new trade agreements with the US or with other countries to replace the revenue lost to US tariffs. Now we will look at changes in aggregate demand and supply. The effect on Australian exports would result in a shift to the left on the aggregate demand curve, as the added cost of the tariff would increase the price of goods, meaning less people are willing to purchase those goods. At the same time, Australian domestic goods would show a shift to the right on the supply curve, as with less goods being demanded and exported to the US, more is left over for use in Australia, meaning there is a higher supply of Australian goods within the Australian economy. The US would encounter something similar, as the tariff would cause an increase in price for Australian exports, meaning a shift to the left of the aggregate demand curve. The US domestic economy would also be affected by the tariffs, leading to higher demand for US goods due to the increased costs of imported goods, meaning a shift to the right on the demand curve. Our third topic today is on insights from behavioral economics. Behavioral economics refers to the field of economics that studies how human psychology influences the decision-making process. When trying to understand why an individual would choose unhealthy food options, particularly in the instance that a change to more healthy food choices would be preferable, we must understand the concept of bounded rationality. This theory suggests that individuals are only capable of making limited strategic decisions. This can be due to factors including incomplete information, limited brain power, or not enough time. Behavioral economics differ from traditional economic assumptions, as those assumptions are based on the fact that all people are rational, and that they consider the benefits and costs available to them to reach an optimum decision. In reality, people are not always rational, and are prone to certain behaviors and biases that influence their decision making, such as overconfidence, herding, and discrimination. Our fourth and final topic will be on developments in AI and implications for inequality in the labor market. As developments in AI continue, it is relatively safe to assume that it will eventually replace certain positions or industries within the workplace and within the greater economy. This is also likely to affect unskilled workers the most, as these positions would be easier to develop AI systems and processes to replace workers with. This would lead to less available unskilled work and increased unemployment for unskilled workers. This decrease in labor demand would lead to a shift on the demand curve for unskilled workers to the left. AI is also likely to have different effects on wages and wage inequality in the labor market. Wage inequality may increase as the demand for people that can develop and run AI would increase, leading to an increase in wages among these positions while also simultaneously taking away the income of unskilled workers that AI replaces. Wage inequality may also decrease as those who can't earn a high wage currently may decide to become specialized in AI as it grows, meaning their wages would increase over time as their skills become more in demand, closing the gap between their own wages and the other high income earners. Wage inequality may also stay the same, but only in the instance that these two examples happen simultaneously, where unskilled workers lose their income due to their positions being replaced by AI, whilst also developing skills in AI to get back and potentially increase their previous wages. And with that brings the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.